Hello, my crafty friends. I am so excited today to be participating in a video hop sponsored by Scrap and Stamp Canada. The hop is called A Canadian Christmas, and there's going to be a lot of inspiration using products that you can find at Scrap and Stamp. And I will have all of that information linked in the description box below, as well as on my blog. I will have a coordinating blog post with everything linked for you. I chose to work with this collection from Echo Park. It's called The Magic of Winter. I was just enamored with the colors, and I'm going to just drop a photo in here now showing all of the supplies that Scrap and Stamp Canada sent me to work with. Now, if you follow me, you've been noticing a number of cards in this colorway, because when you have a 12 by 12 package of pattern paper, you can get a lot of cards out of it. So I've been using this and sharing them on my blog, and I still have a lot more to share. It's kind of a fun kit because depending on the sentiment that you choose, you can turn them into Christmas cards, but it's also winter, and where I live in Alberta, I can send winter cards for Happy Mail or for winter birthdays from November right through to the end of February. So I'm loving this, and as I said, everything is available at Scrap and Stamp Canada. So for my tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make gift card holders using that 12 by 12 pattern paper, and then I'm going to have a bonus card at the end and show you how to make a fun fold card. So my gift card holder, well, it's a little bit smaller than an A2 card, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And you can see it fits perfectly in an A2 envelope. I did decorate the envelope with some stickers. The pattern paper comes with a full sheet of stickers. There's a lot of fun stickers on there. And then also the Ephemra package, which we're going to be using in the tutorial. So this is the finished gift card holder, and it opens up with a pocket that you can add your gift card or multiple cards in. It's a generous pocket. And then there's a signing block, or you can write or a personal greeting or stamp a sentiment on it. Now, just before I get into the tutorial, I wanted to talk about the cut-aparts. There's like 3 pages of the cut-aparts included in this package. The back sides are patterned, so you don't have to use the cut-aparts if you don't want to. But I have been just having so much fun using all of those cut-aparts, and I wanted to show you that I just saved some stamp packaging, and I store the cut-aparts. So these are all the ones that I have left that I haven't used yet. Which is not, there's actually not that many left considering how many the kit started with. There's a variety of sizes. We've got the 4x6, and I think those are 4x4, and then the traditional 3x4. So these are actually meant for pocket scrapbooking, but they make amazing cards. I've been doing infinity shakers and easel cards and slimline cards, and just lots of fun. So I go through those and I cut them up right away. I use a trimmer, cut them up, and then pop them in a bag that I can store right inside the paper package. And that allows me to just quickly flip through and use them as an embellishment on my card fronts. Okay, I'm going to move this over to the side. I have been making this style of gift card holder for years. The original design was from Dawn Griffith at Dawn Stamping Thoughts, and I've been crediting her all through the years as well. And I actually did do a video tutorial on these last Christmas, but I have a lot of new followers who may not have seen that one. And if you're like us, we give a lot of gift cards over the holidays, even as thank yous to like the groomer, etc. So I like to have a really nice gift card holder. I would say these ones are kind of medium. You can really dress them up and make the presentation something special as well as the gift card. What I really like about this pattern paper package is, of course, the papers are double-sided. So when you open up your card, you've got that fun pattern on the inside. Of course, you can do them out of plain cardstock and add paper panels and, you know, dress it up that way. But I love the simplicity and how quickly they work up. Using cut-aparts, stickers, and ephemera where you're not having to do stamping and coloring really quickens the process as well. So as I said, you do get 2 from one 12 by 12 sheet. So you're going to cut your 12 by 12 sheet, you're going to cut it at 5.5. I make 2 of those cut. I have 2 pieces that are 12 by 5.5 inches, and then I set one aside for the second gift card and work on the one I'm working on. You're going to be left with a 1-inch strip. I always save those because they're very usable, and in fact I did a winter bridge card that I haven't shared yet, and that 1-inch strip I used for layering panels inside. So now you have your 12 by 5.5 inch piece of pattern paper. just be mindful of the direction of the papers. I thought this was fairly generic, but if you look closely, my pine cones are upside down. So I wasn't really paying attention. So pay attention to the direction of your pattern paper. One of the snowflake patterns has got little hearts on it, and I thought it was snowflake paper, and I was just cutting away making, I think, the sheet load of cards, and realized that the hearts were directional. That's the one thing you have to be careful of, is the direction of your paper. Okay, back to your base here. You're going to make 2 score lines, one at 4, one at 8 inches. And that's it. And that's why your card is a little bit smaller than an A2. It is 4 by 5.5 inches rather than 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. So it's just that 1/4 inch, and that's because we're working with a 12 by 12 sheet that we are dividing into 3. So after it's scored, and I did the pre-scoring, you don't need to watch me score on video here. So fold it in half, there's your front of your card, and then we're going to fold this one inside as well. So you have like a tri-fold here, and I am going to reinforce those. I'm away from home right now, so I'm not sure how much wiggling my camera is going to do. I'm just going to be gentle with my scoring and hope that I don't shake the camera too badly here. So you're going to fold this one in and this one over, but before I do the next fold, there's kind of a buckle, and that's because, and it doesn't always happen, but it does sometimes happen, that's because we have equal panels and we're dealing with a fold. So we want to take just a scant edge off of this piece here, and I'm just going to use a little trimmer for that. Make sure my directions are going proper. So this is the side, this is the far right side that you're going to trim, and I am just going to trim a tiny piece off. Wow, it's so tiny. Probably only 1/8 of an inch. Move the trimmer out of the way there. So that is the leftover piece, and that will allow this to fold flat, and then you've got room and it closes nicely. You just don't want things bunching in the fold. Now for the next step, I don't score. I'm just going to take this corner here, the top right corner, and fold it along that score line. So when I have it about where I want it, I will do a finger press and then a full. So that folds down, and then that's going to come over here and create the pocket. So I prefer to use a wet glue. Right now I'm using art glitter glue. I have a hairband that was from one of my tip from one of my viewers, and I have the stopper pin, and I actually put it upside down behind that hairband because when I put it down this way I tend to poke myself, and it's happened more than once. So I just slide that pin in upside down, then I always know where my pin is. I also have a glass jar here that has a damp paper towel in it, and I can store my glue in that, and it doesn't dry out when I'm working. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue here along that triangle and glue that down well. The gift card won't get caught in it, but I still like to make sure it's nice and secure. And now we're going to attach this piece here to the inside center of the card. I do like to use wet glue for that. Here you could use a dry adhesive, an ATG gun, a tape runner, but the reason I don't like to use a tape runner when I'm doing gift card holders is let me find my gift card here. The gift cards have got some thickness to them, and if you use a dry adhesive, the width of that and the heaviness of it will start to lift that adhesive, and then when you give it to someone, it's kind of stuck in there. They're trying to pull it out of the adhesive. So if you use wet glue, then that doesn't happen. And I am going to apply wet glue pretty much all over this panel here. Well, I don't mean all over, but right to the edges. If I move my glue, then it's easier for me to find. And that's it. I'm just going to make sure my edges are lined up, and that is glued down. Now I have my pocket. So how quick and easy was that, right? And now you can decorate it. I worked ahead and got these done. So this is one of the cut aparts. I thought it was just so sweet. There's also the enamel dots that I absolutely love. I'm just really enjoying this colorway in this paper collection here. So I added the enamel dots, and then I've added some double-sided adhesive. So I've taken the backing off all of my squares there, and I'm just going to mount it to the front of my gift card holder. and now it's decorated there. I used a stitched rectangle for my panel here, and you can just use any shape in your stash. You could probably even use one of the ephemera pieces if you desired, because there's such a good variety in there. And I think there's also one that's got tags and labels, and that would work really nicely. And then I have one of the stickers from the sticker sheet, the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. So I attached it to white cardstock and then fussy cut it out, and it's also ready to adhere. I've added my foam squares to the back. And then you can play with it. You know, you can add it here, you can add it here, you can have it sticking over. I am going to stick mine up here. And now my gift card holder is finished. So you can see that, I mean, it took me a while to make them because I'm chatting with you, but boy, they do work up so quickly. And when you're using cut-aparts and ephemera, you can make a stack of them and give some out before the holidays as gifts. And I've done that before, and people loved getting the gift card holders. So I'm going to move this stuff out of the way, and then let's get into that bonus card. All right. I used the coordinating stencil, which is called Catch Snowflakes, and just a blending brush on an envelope. Now this is a 5x7 card and envelope, and we're just going to make a Z-fold card. Z-fold cards are my very favorite fun fold card to make, and they're so easy, and you can make them out of so many different card sizes. So I know a lot of you like to make A2 size cards, and these work great for A2 as well. It's the same measurement principle. So you take your card base, fold it, it's 5 by 7 inches, and then you make a score line in the center. So because this is 5 inches, my center score line is 2.5. If you're doing an A2 card, your width is 4.25 inches, so your center line would be 2 1/8. So score it in the center, fold that edge back, and then you can decorate it with paper panels however you decide. I chose not to add a panel onto this side here, but you certainly can. I play it by ear. If I had a leftover strip of paper that was kind of close by and it looked like it would work, I would add that on. As far as decorating goes, I did add some of the stickers from the paper package also onto the envelope. And this is one of the 4x4 cut-aparts. I trimmed it down a little bit and added it to the coordinating solids. And I guess I haven't talked about those solids yet. I have not had the coordinating solids to the paper packages by Echo Park before. Wow, I am so impressed. Going forward, I will be making sure that I get the coordinating solids as well. It just makes matching up so easy. Now for these ones, I did a lot of that charcoal, but I will show you on this cut-apart here, this backing, that it's double-sided. This blue matte is one of the solids, and it's not just colored on the front. You also have color on the back side, which is really nice because when you open the card, it coordinates as well. It's just another one of those special little details. So I cut that down a little bit and mounted it to a 4x4 inch piece of the solids, and that's going to be on the front. And this is what's going on the inside, and you can see I made it just a little bit smaller. I wanted some wiggle room to make sure that it remains hidden when the card is closed, so this will be the sentiment block that's inside the card. So the only other trick to making a Z-fold card is making sure you only put adhesive on half, and that you put it on the side that's going to be attached to the left of the card. If you put adhesive all over this piece here, and then attach it down, you will essentially be gluing your card closed. So I'm just going to pay attention here. So I want my adhesive on this side here, and I'm not going to do it all the way to the center. I'm just going to do it about 2/3. And this one you can use a tape runner for. I just know that my table will wiggle like crazy if I'm trying to use a tape runner. Now here you can put it wherever you want, and you can use different shapes as well. I'm just showing you different ways you can use all the cut-aparts that come in that package. So I'm trying to have a pleasing space top and bottom, and I am making it even when it's side to side. So I'm going to press that down, and then I'm going to turn it over and make sure I've got no glue seeping out through here, which I don't, so that's good. And I'm going to press it down again with my bone folder just to make sure everything is adhered really well. And there's the front of my card done. And now I want to adhere this inside. Using wet glue on this does give you a little bit of wiggle room. And I know this is big and kind of hides some of those penguins, so I could have done like a smaller circle or used one of the ephemera pieces instead. But I wanted to show you how to layer it so it remains hidden. So I'll add a little bit of glue to the back of this. Adding little dots of glue is generally how I do apply my wet glue, as I find it bleeds through less and doesn't buckle the paper nearly as much. So now I'm going to actually I'm going to turn this over, place it so that there's a little bit of the outer panel showing, but it looks like it's fairly centered here. And then I'm going to close the back of the card against that adhesive, light press, pick it up, and then make sure that it's hidden. Sometimes it will shift and you want to make sure that it remains hidden. It could have slid over and then you would see it when the card is coming out of the envelope. And I like that. I mean, it's a fun fold card, but I like that the sentiment is kind of hidden inside. So I'm glued down, and there is my Zed-fold card. If I was going to stamp on this, I would probably do the stamping before I adhered it on. But for this one, I'm going to use another one of the cute ephemera pieces. There's so many pieces in that ephemera package. I assumed that I would blow through them, and actually ordered a second package of ephemera, but I didn't need to. There is a ton of ephemera in the package. So I'm just going to center this on here. Excuse my arm, I'm not used to creating with a camera in front of my face. I'm going to put it down here and see if that works better. Now the other thing you can do, and in fact, why don't I do that just to show you, is you can add a little bit of glue to your foam tape. And that gives you just a little bit of wiggle room if you need. And look, now that time I didn't need the wiggle room. So press that down, and there's my finished Zed-fold card that folds really nice and flat for mailing, but it's just a little fun fold. Another one that's easy to do, and they also stand really nicely for display. I think before I call it completely done, I'm going to add some of the enamel dots. I may end up speeding up that part of the video because you don't need to watch me doing that. So a cute way to add the embellishments. Now the other thing I did use, and I got these from Scrap and Stamp as well, they're the reverse tweezers. They're normally closed and you squeeze to open, so the opposite of regular tweezers. I craft with tweezers. I love tweezers to hold things, especially when I'm creating without a camera right in my face. But I use tweezers constantly in my crafting, and these ones I'm very impressed with, and they've been getting a really good workout in my craft room. The other thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't mention before was, can you see there's a bit of a shimmer on this? I have it on the little bird's tummy, and then I wanted it to resemble kind of falling icicles or snow there. That is using a new to me product by Picket Fence Studios. It's called the Paper Glitz, and this one is Sparkle. I applied it with a spatula. I thought it would be beautiful with the Snowflakes stencil, so you can apply it to cardstock. It looks like there's a lot of glitter at the bottom, so it will have to be stirred up. I saw this from V-Tren, who is a crafter that I follow, and she said to use plastic. So this was actually the front of a plastic bag that the paper glaze came in when it was shipped from Scrap and Stamp Canada. So I just cut the front off, and the tip is to leave as much of this on as you can, and that will save it from drying out. So I leave this on. I can dip my spatula in, stir it up, smear it across my stencil, add it like I did to the top of here, and it's just such beautiful sparkle. You have to set it aside to dry. And then when I'm done, I just want to wipe off any sparkle there. So you can see how sparkly it is, just without stirring it. And when you add that bit of plastic on top, it should keep it from drying out. I think another way to keep it from drying out is to use it up. So I'm actually going to take some of the remaining solids that I have. There's some beautiful colors in there, and I'm going to use the stencil and make a bunch of backgrounds that will coordinate with any of the pattern paper that I have remaining. So thank you very much to Scrap and Stamp for their generous sponsoring of this hop. There's going to be prizes. I will list in the description box below the next step on the hop. If you get lost along the way, head to the Scrap and Stamp blog. I will have that linked in the description box below. Make sure you leave a comment to be entered to win a prize from Scrap and Stamp. I hope you enjoyed my projects, and you can add some fun folds and some gift card holders to your Christmas card making.